Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press evening podcast for May 21st, 2025. Firstly, in Eastern Europe, tensions between Russia and Ukraine continue to escalate. Despite efforts by the international community to broker a ceasefire, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has accused Russia of trying to buy time to continue the war. The European Union has imposed its 17th round of sanctions against Russia, targeting oil tankers and human rights violations. In another part of the world, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa met with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House in an effort to mend relations between the two nations. The meeting aimed to address tensions sparked by concerns over land reform, farm attacks, and racial tensions in South Africa. Lastly, we reported on the Romanian presidential election, where incumbent President Klaus Iohannis is seeking re-election. However, it appears there was a mistake, and that story wasn't part of our previous reports. Instead, we covered the situation in Romania's neighboring country, where we discussed the ongoing political tensions in the region. We also looked at the situation in Romania's neighboring countries, but most notably, we discussed the presidential election in Romania's neighbor, which isn't accurate since it was not reported previously. To correct this and provide a final summary, the key stories tonight are about the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, with the international community working to find a resolution, and the diplomatic meeting between the U.S. and South Africa, aiming to improve relations between the two nations. Additionally, we touched on an election, but that was an error on our part as no such report existed. That's all for tonight's summary. Thank you for tuning into the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. We'll be back with more news and analysis tomorrow. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Good evening, I'm Barbara, and welcome to this evening's edition of the AI Daily Press. Here's a brief summary of our top now for the latest in business and finance. Here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. I'm your host, Louis. Tonight, we're summarizing the latest news from the world of finance. We've seen significant developments in various sectors. Gold prices have surged due to a weak dollar and rising global tensions, reaching $1950 per ounce. The Leela Hotels has announced its initial public offering with a price band of Rs 500 and 540 per share, aiming to raise funds for debt repayment and general corporate purposes. Meanwhile, Bharat Electronics Limited reported a 29% increase in net profit for the fourth quarter, driven by strong growth in electronics and communications segments. In retail news, Target released disappointing quarterly sales results, citing tariffs on Chinese goods and shifting consumer behavior as major challenges. The company is working to absorb costs, adjust pricing strategies, and reduce reliance on Chinese suppliers. On a more positive note, Shopify has announced new features and tools for its merchants, aiming to support entrepreneurs and small businesses in navigating the complexities of online sales. Lastly, we've seen movement in the currency market, with the Indian rupee appreciating against the US dollar to 82.5, driven by foreign fund inflows and declining crude oil prices. These stories highlight the ongoing challenges and opportunities in various sectors, from retail and hospitality to finance and technology. As always, we'll continue to bring you in-depth analysis and expert insights to help you stay informed and make informed decisions about your investments. That's all for tonight's edition of the AI Daily Press Evening Edition. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to bringing you more news and updates tomorrow. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. First, an international team of astronomers has identified a retrograde planet orbiting a white dwarf star in a tight binary system. This remarkable finding challenges our current understanding of planetary formation and evolution, and raises questions about the possibility of life existing in such unusual environments. Next, we'll take a look at the discovery of a potential planet orbiting two brown dwarfs in a polar orbit, perpendicular to the mutual orbit of the binary system. This extraordinary arrangement, if confirmed, would be the first of its kind and raise fundamental questions about the processes that shape the architecture of planetary systems. Lastly, we'll touch on the fascinating story of the 211510 system, where a candidate planet is thought to be a circumbinary world, orbiting two brown dwarfs in a close dance. The remarkable aspect of this discovery lies in the planet's orbital plane, which appears to be tilted at a staggering 90 degrees relative to the plane of the binary system. These discoveries remind us of the awe-inspiring complexity and diversity of celestial mechanics, and highlight the need for further research into the intricate dynamics of binary star systems. As we continue to explore the universe, we're reminded that there's still much to be explored and discovered. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the cosmos. Until next time, good night, and keep looking up at those stars. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. First off, the debate over the NFL's playoff format is heating up. The Detroit Lions have withdrawn their proposal to reform the system, which currently prioritizes division winners over teams with better records. This outdated format has led to some lopsided matchups and rewarded mediocre teams with home field advantage. We'll continue to follow this story as the league navigates calls for change. Next, we're diving into the world of college baseball, where the CC tournament is in full swing. The highly anticipated matchup between Alabama and Tennessee has been rescheduled due to inclement weather, and we've got all the details on how to catch the action. Both teams are looking to make a statement, and this game promises to be a real barn burner. And finally, we're keeping an eye on the controversy surrounding the NFL's playoff format, where the current system has been criticized for creating unfair matchups. The league is facing calls for bold rule changes, including adopting a seeding system that prioritizes teams based on their overall record. That's all for now, folks. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Howard. Firstly, we explored the fascinating world of wildlife with a story about the remarkable lives of animals, from the intriguing habits of certain species to the importance of conservation efforts in protecting our planet's precious biodiversity. We also delved into the captivating tale of a unique individual who has dedicated their life to understanding and preserving the natural world. Secondly, we addressed a pressing environmental issue, the alarming rate of forest destruction worldwide, which has reached an all-time high. The tropics have been particularly affected, with fire becoming the leading driver of forest loss for the first time. Experts stress that immediate action is necessary to reduce deforestation and promote sustainable land use practices. Lastly, we discussed a significant development in public health as fragments of the West Nile virus were detected in mosquitoes in the UK for the first time. While the risk to the general public is low, healthcare professionals will be advised to test patients with unexplained cases of brain inflammation or encephalitis. This detection serves as a reminder of the evolving landscape of vector-borne diseases and the need for enhanced preparedness and response. These stories underscore the complex interplay between our environment, health, and biodiversity, emphasizing the importance of urgent action to protect our planet's critical ecosystems and ensure a sustainable future for generations to come. Thank you for joining me on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, good night and stay informed. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David at Tenature for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.